Okay, so hi everyone. I thought that it would be easier to address some of the questions and issues that you all brought up in this video rather than writing to everybody individually. So I really loved getting to know you guys through your videos as well as through some of the comments you made on the quizzes and discussion boards. And I thought that I would start by just summarizing what seems to be the strengths of this class. So people mentioned that they're good at description, they're good at getting words down and producing on a schedule. Some people are really good at imagery. Some feel like they're good at getting a topic together and they're willing to be vulnerable, which is wonderful. Some are really good at paying attention to detail, which is pretty key to any kind of writing that is going to move us, right? Where we really get to the specifics and the details. And others feel that they can really use their imagination and indulge in their imagination. Okay, and interestingly, we have on the, when I asked about challenges, we have a lot of those same issues that some people are really good at, other people feel are challenging. So I think we have a really good mix in this class of strengths and challenges. So there are a couple people who feel like they don't have confidence in their writing, and my hope is that this course will really help with that. And I think that part of having a low confidence comes from a way of perceiving your writing, which is that you're in competition with other people, or that that a first draft needs to be perfect. It's a way of sort of changing how you perceive your writing that I think will help with that confidence issue. There are a couple people who say they have problems translating their image onto a page, or what they can imagine getting that onto the page. And I think that is true of every writer. What you feel you can, the worlds that you can sort of create in your mind never seem to resonate as beautifully on the page as you think that they should. So that's just going to be something that I think we all have to deal with as we write. Self-deprecation is difficult, and I think that's tied in with the low confidence. Some people really don't like to share their personal stories, and that's absolutely fine. Creative nonfiction, even if you're writing a personal essay or a memoir, it cuts a wide berth for you. So you don't have to be going into the deepest, darkest struggles of your soul. You can, particularly for the personal essay, locate something, identify something that is troubling or curious to you, and then see how that resonates in the larger world, right? The personal essay often entails research for that reason, because you're kind of seeing how your own personal issues relate to the larger global ones. Whereas the memoir, and a couple people sort of struggled with defining both. The memoir is more, it'll either cover a larger span of time, right, for like a large memoir, or the memoir essay will stay more with a particular moment in the past, and investigate that moment. But again, it does not have to be something that is, that you don't want to share. In fact, you should never write anything that you do not feel ready to share with others. Okay, so some people feel like it's challenging to expand on something that has run its course. Somebody mentioned that. An essay doesn't need to be a really long essay. In fact, with our creative nonfiction magazine, the online one, you'll see that there are many short essays, very brief, 1,000 words, just like a flash fiction piece. So an essay can indeed be brief, and it should never be longer than you think it deserves to be. And that's true of this class too. If you are writing if you feel like you write best in a very short venue, then do that. That's where your process narrative comes in, because then you can explain why you feel like the brevity is really important to your particular essay. Okay, I made a mistake and asked in my quiz about what days you needed to turn in. I said something about turning in your assignments on Thursdays. It's actually Mondays and Fridays, so just to clarify that. Yes, your professor will make mistakes, and you are welcome to email me. Let me know at any time when you're confused or when I've made an error or a typo. Somebody asked about grading the writing notebooks. A few of you did. I'm never going to see your writing notebooks. Your writing notebooks are just for your zero drafts. Those are those you hold on to, and that's where you can explore some of those issues you don't want to share with others, because nobody will be seeing those. Okay, I will ask you to build off of exercises that you might do in those notebooks, but I will never be seeing those actual notebooks. Conferences. I do have a page at Google Docs for you to sign up for conferences. However, if you sign up and talk to me beforehand or in another, an hour outside of that, that will count as your conference. So you're welcome to contact me and set up a time to talk, and that will count as your conference, and you don't need to then have one. But just do go on our Google Docs and write down your name and write down that you've already had the conference, so that that way it'll just keep straight in my records. Okay. Yeah, so I know a lot of you have many commitments, jobs, family. Somebody has 2 jobs in this class. So I do realize that. And, if you contact me beforehand and you need to work out an extension for, certain assignments, we can do that. But please contact me beforehand, not the day of, okay? And I know emergencies come up, and you all have 3 absences in this class. So, if you don't post, that counts as an absence. And it's only after 3 that it starts to affect your grade. So those 3 are, for you to use wisely. Somebody mentioned learning new vocabulary, and we are going to be learning terminology in this course for sure. So that will be woven in and embedded in your weekly content folders, and you will be quizzed on that vocabulary once we've covered that. The podcast. Okay, so the podcast, and you're going to have models of what a podcast looks like, and we're going to try this. I've not done this before with an asynchronous class, but you will not be meeting together. And I think one of the concerns was, how are we going to meet together? You're not. You're going to meet over Zoom, and you can record, that way, or you could record any way that you would like, actually, for the podcast, but it'll be an interview that will be done online. So if you don't have the technology, or you can't, work out a time, you could also do it through writing. But I will give you clearer guidelines to that as we move closer to it. All right. Let's see if there's something else I didn't cover. All right, I think that about sums it up. But I just wanted to, address your videos, your questions, your concerns, some of the things that came up in the quizzes. And please do, get in touch with me if you have any further questions about anything. And until then, happy writing.